Hey everybody, I'm out here taking jacks. Nice walk through the woods. It's nice because I get to come out here and I get to contemplate stuff. It's so quiet, peaceful, rather than when Jack's pulling on the leash. So I'm always talking about mental health, usually when I'm talking about physical health and fitness. It's kind of where I focus a lot of my practice. And, so I want to talk about this concept. And you can find it discussed kind of along the same lines as neuroplasticity. And it talks about, strengthening the neurological connections in your brain. So we have this thought or this behavior. And I just use the example of playing the piano, learning to play the piano. And the idea behind it is, nobody's born knowing how to play the piano. But through repetition, we're developing and strengthening those neurological connections in our brain that tell us, this is how you do it. And we become more efficient at it. Right? So the same idea can be related to, like depression and anxiety. So we have this thought, right? Or this thought is given to us from our environment, right? A lot of our self-image issues come from society because we weren't born with them, right? We weren't born hating ourselves. We weren't born thinking that we were fat. We weren't born, thinking that we had no value in life. Actually, most of us were born in love and care. I'm not saying all of us. Some of us were, given, shit end of life, but regardless, when we come out, we're not born hating ourselves. Those are ideas that are provided to us. Now, whether or not that idea is compounded on, right? So whether that idea is reinstilled over time, if we're continually provided the stimulus that feeds into that, right? So if we're constantly having people tell us we're fat, constantly having people tell us that we're ugly, we begin to start telling ourselves that. The more we tell ourselves that, the stronger and stronger that connection comes, the easier and easier it is to say it and to believe it, right? So those words become ideas, those ideas become beliefs, those beliefs become our way of life. So we think of it as kind of like a river, right? So the more that water flows through it, the deeper and deeper that trench is, the stronger and stronger the water flow, until something comes along and breaks that or stops the flow, right? Because when it comes to that river, we can simply dig another path for that water to flow. And if we continue to do so and that water continues to flow and that water, makes that trench deeper, the water will flow that way instead, right? You can completely cut off a river supply line by creating a deeper place for that water to flow. So, same idea goes, that's kind of neuroplasticity, right? Developing new neurological pathways and strengthening those connections, right? I'm talking about this because, right, back to the whole mental health and physical health and all that stuff, right? I apply this, let's bring it to the physical world, right? So in the gym, we come into the gym, none of us come into the gym strong, right? None of us come into the gym fit and at the top of our game, or into the fitness world to begin with, right? We're not just born super cut up and able to lift heavy shit. That's not how it works. So, but over time, we lift weights, we jog, we do whatever it is, we do our cardio training or strength training, and over time we become stronger and stronger. And our heart becomes better and our immune system becomes better, and we become more efficient, and all of our organs become more efficient, and all these positive things happen. But it happens over a period of time, and it also has something to do with that neurological connection that I was just talking about. We have to learn the motions. We have to learn, the proper way to exercise. Just again, like playing the piano, we have to develop these things. So I guess, long story short is there's so much relation between the way you can treat your mental health and the way that you treat your physical health. So when you're going through depression or times of anxiety or whatever it is, just remember, it takes a lot of work, right? So we have to first implant that idea that we are worth something, right? That, we don't have to hate ourselves because of our body, the way it looks. We don't have to hate ourselves because somebody thinks we're ugly, because, 10 out of 10 times there's somebody out there who's going to think you're beautiful exactly the way you are. And, that's something that I want to help you feel, right? Because I think everybody has their own beauty. So just remember there's things like that in the world. Don't give up, right? If you're telling yourself for 3 days that you're worth it, that you're beautiful, and then on the 4th day you're like, fuck this, I don't want to do it anymore, I don't feel like this, I still feel ugly and fat, just remember, this is related. Nobody learned the piano in 3 days. I mean, maybe, some, protege or whatever you want to call it. But nobody learned it in 3 days. So overcoming our mental obstacles, same thing with our physical obstacles, doesn't necessarily just come overnight. You got to work at it. So look into it. A lot of studies done. Neuroplasticity, it's science, it's real. Check it out. So